Hey, all, welcome in to the post-game show here from parking lot here at Folsom Field. What a win! What a win by the Buffs today. That was fantastic. Showed up, did some things. Caden was able to throw the ball. Just a fantastic performance all around by the Buffs today. So, yeah, a little bit shocked. A little bit shocked by the performance that they had today. So, let's jump into some things. The Buffs win 24-17. uh, Huge showing by Caden Salter today. He did a phenomenal job um, throwing the football today and running the football team today. Not only did he lead the team in, Dallin barely passed him, but I think I checked before the last series. Caden Salter had 57 yards today. Dallin Hayden had 58. But what a performance today. Was not expecting that. I expected him to play good enough. But in all honesty, just good enough. So real happy with the way the Buffs performed today. 24-17, the defense, today was essentially the complementary football. That is what the Buffs played today. That is what they did. Was not expected at all. Was expecting them to come close but fall short by about 3 points. I think I didn't make my prediction, which I thought about, a little bit later last night, but it was 27-24 is what I thought it would be. Iowa State, and here come the Buffs, 24-17, win by a touchdown. So um just a phenomenal game. We look back at the keys to the game, and let me get those pulled up real quick. But the Buffs, yeah, they played a hell of a game today. Complimentary football. The defense did what they needed to do. It was just gosh, that was just a fantastic performance. One is going to go a long way heading into the bye week right now. So the Buffs absolutely did what they needed to today. And yeah, Humble Texan says, "Wow, did not expect that." Yeah, I don't think a lot of us did. But yeah, that was fantastic. What a day by Colorado today. So started off kind of muddy. I shouldn't say muddy. Started off, with some rain coming down. It was a little bit ugly football. Neither team could get things going. Just a lot of punts going on. Buffs, I believe, started the first two drives 3-and-out, or was it the first three? Anyway, they took one for 7, which they looked great on. Um, can't can't compliment enough. I would say if there's a game ball that goes out today, that would be to Caden Salter. Man, he played his ass off today. He was throwing the football, slinging it around the yard. Ended up with 255 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had a where are we at? I don't think I have his quarterback rating, but 16 for 25, 255 yards, about 15.9 average, and 2 touchdowns thrown today. So he did a lot. He did great today. So very shockingly surprised. Um, but yeah, I'm holy cow. Dallin Hayden had a great game today. He looked man, he looked good. He looked sharp this week, or he looked sharp today, running hard. Man, he was running hard. So let me see. I think somebody had a question. Yeah, Darren Jennings. Why is Hayden not starting? I don't know, but he should be. I think he kind of solidified that today, right? He's the bell cow. Um, Man, he runs hard. My gosh, like that was a phenomenal performance by Dallin Hayden. Even picking up blitzes and things. Dallin Hayden played well today. It was just some complimentary football. Right, there's things to clean up like always, but seeing the Buffs win a football game, able to put it away in that last drive, that 3rd and 17 play right there, that throw by Caden. Holy cow. Holy cow. Hitting Joseph Williams there to end the game. It was over at that point, right? One first down and it's over, 3rd and 17. I honestly thought they were going to run the football and punt it back to Iowa State, and holy cow, we're aggressive there. They were extremely aggressive all game long. So, my goodness, that was a hell of a win today. Domestically G says B minus offense, B minus defense. Great game. I would say offense. Man, that's tough though. I want to go through and watch the film before I grade it. Rewatch the game, take my notes, check coverages. Um, But yeah, I just kind of want to see where we're at with it before giving some grades out. But I hear that though. I hear exactly what you're saying. The offense should have put up more. Caden missed a couple throws early. There was a screen that was set up that you guys, I don't know if they showed it on the replay on the game, but man, he missed Quentin Gibson. There was on the whatever it was double reverse pass. Man, Quentin Gibson had a convoy in front of him. That probably would have ended in a touchdown. But and there was a couple throws Caden missed, and again, that's what we're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get with Caden Salter right now. Just inaccurate, but then you see plays where you're like, holy shit, like this dude can play. So it is just yeah, it was just an all-around great game. Let me see. Humble Texan says Iowa State tried to force the run, made Caden have to throw, and look what happened. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, there was receivers open all over the place. That one to Amari and Miller, and the funny thing is though with Amari and Miller, that's there. That's there every game, almost every single play with Amari and Miller to go throw it up and let him make plays. It is there. It's there. So I'm glad they went to it today, but that's been there all season. That's not something new. That is not something the defenses were willing to give up. But that was holy shit, that was a great game. To God be the glory ministry says, I'm glad we won. I just wish we would have more killer instincts and putting teams away. Play calling on offense needs to be better. Yeah, and I think offensive execution needs to be a lot better. Yeah, they missed a couple plays. And again, Caden's going to leave plays out there, and he did today for sure. But I mean, all in all, you can't, there are things to clean up for sure. But in a win against a top 25, against a ranked opponent, what were they, 22 coming in? Not a lot that you could, not a lot that you can complain about. So, yeah, Neo says great game. A win is a win. Just need to keep winning. That stop at fourth down by the D was phenomenal. Yeah, even in the stands, we were sitting there and we had there was a lot of Iowa State fans today right there in Folsom, but it was when that happened, they were on their own 18. I was like, this is stupid. This is essentially like the Buffs can go ice the game here. And this, again, I think going back to what to God be the glory ministry said is the Buffs could have iced that at that point. They're missing that killer instinct, And again, we looked at yesterday when I had my third key to the game was killer instinct, finish the game. Now they did today, right? The offense finished the game today, but they had a point. They had an opportunity to put their foot on the neck and really close the game out and missed it. But again, they got 3. You can't complain there. But man, a touchdown there, that ends the game, ball game at that point. So, right, those are things need to be cleaned up. But man, the Buffs came out and did what they needed to do, won the ball game, and here we are. Here we are, heading into the bye week, feeling good going into the bye week about what the Buffs accomplished, and coming out of the bye week, tough game to go against Utah, but we'll jump into that in a couple weeks. But holy cow, what a momentum! This is one of those wins that can turn a season around, right? And again, the Buffs, they're probably out of Big 12 contention at this point, even with 3 losses and running the table. But you got to feel good about where the Buffs are at right now. Darren Jennings says, ever since Jeremiah Brown became starting linebacker, stopping the run has been better. Yeah, he is. That dude flies around. That dude's a 3-down linebacker. So he, that is one of your starters. You probably roll with him and Reggie Hughes moving forward. That is what it needs to be. That is what it looks like. But the Buffs, yeah, they Jeremiah Brown he's playing outstanding football right now, really filling in for that role there at linebacker. So just a fantastic game by him. He's all over the place today, sideline to sideline. Yeah, Darren Jennings Salter throws a great deep ball. Yeah, and the crazy part is we've known that ball to Omarion was beautiful, right? Holy cow, it does that thing, the trajectory goes up and down kind of thing, rainbow kind of thing, but that was perfect on the money. That was perfect against coverage, he didn't miss there, and it was man, that was just Caden played a phenomenal game, was layering the football. He did what he needed to do today. And again, there's not a lot of, he missed a few throws early, but you know what? Didn't turn the ball over today. Caden, he didn't turn it over. He did what he needed to do, ran for, well, what did I say? 60, led the team. Oh, he had 57 yards. Down Hayden led the team in rushing with 58, but not a lot to complain about. But First key to the game though was tough predicament. I said that it was a tough predicament whether you run. I put Buff should have no problem running the ball, but early on, they were selling Iowa State's defense. They were selling out against stopping the run, and Colorado decided to get vertical with it and started throwing that thing. And it was like, holy shit! Like this is what this could be when you let Caden throw the ball deep. So I think it was kind of they could have done whatever they chose to do at that point, if that makes sense. Either running it, throwing it. Iowa State's defense is banged up. That whole team is banged up, but it was Buffs did great today. Really, really happy about the way they attacked today. I think those first 2-3 drives were kind of tough. Whatever it was, the first two I think was 3 and outs, but yeah, they did what they needed to do today. Yeah, Demysticles G said just more proof of how we've been frustrated Buff fans losing to less talented teams, plus not knowing which Case Salter we were getting that week. Yeah, yep. And we got the Caden Salter we thought we were getting from Liberty. This is the best game Caden Salter has played as a Colorado Buffalo, by far. I don't even think it's close at this point. This is by far his best game as a Colorado Buffalo. My hope is that this carries over and the Buffs can do some things, because again, the rest of the season there is not a more, and again I'm just saying, a more talented team, right? Even Arizona State, they're a good football team. Do not get me wrong, but the Buffs are extremely talented. So they're not going to run into another team the rest of the season that is more talented than them. So again, this is just something that needs to roll over. It needs to roll over because again, if they can put it together, the talent is there. Everything just needs to click, and hopefully, this is what needed to happen today. The hope is that into the bye week, it carries over. Perfect time for a bye with all the injuries. Hopefully, to get some guys healthy, work on some things, and come out firing against Utah, right at Salt Lake. So, just a huge win for the Buffs today. Let me see. Humble Texan says there were a couple fourth and doable that we should have gone for it and didn't let them stay in the game longer than they should have. Yep. I mean, you got to be aggressive at some point. There were 2 4th and 2 before halftime in the second quarter. You got to go for that. You got to go for that. Like, I don't give a shit what it is. Go for that. Put your foot on their neck in the damn game. End it. And then at the end, right, they took a delayed game and you go for that. You got to have that killer instinct. You got to get that knockout punch. And again, you got to give your team that opportunity to do that as well. But yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Humble Texan. Let's see. Caden throws better deep balls than medium and short balls, but we rarely go deep this season with him. It's crazy work. Yeah, I don't understand that for the life of me. Caden throws a great deep ball, right? That is where he's most accurate. That is when he does his thing. So, my God, let the man rip it. So, and again, I know I've been calling for Julian, but the way the offense has been set up, it's a lot of the intermediate, right? Short to intermediate, right? Timing routes, all of those kind of things. And right, that they require accuracy. Now, when you let Caden rip it like that and just throw it deep, run it, get out and play his style of football, this is the kind of things that happen. And again, the crazy part is the Buffs probably should have won by more than 7 today, right? They had an opportunity to 14, 17 points, somewhere around there should have been the final there. Darren says he throws deep passes more accurate because that 3rd and 17 to JoJo was perfect. Dude, like, I was shocked they didn't run it there. That was a great throw. Found it open, right? Sat in the middle of the safeties right there, right? Found that soft place in that zone that they were playing. It looked like, from my perspective in the stadium, that was your cover 2, your 2 high safeties look, split the safeties. JoJo did, and Caden layered it, right? You got to find that layer between your linebackers or whatever it is. Sometimes they have a robber buzzing, whatever it may be, a safety buzzing, DB buzzing. Layered it right over. Boom, right there in front of the safeties. Perfect throw. Couldn't ask for a better throw there. But yeah, just a fantastic throw. Great read by Caden. Great catch by JoJo. Holy cow. You scratch your head a lot with this team, right? Like, what could have been, right, this season. Breakdance Kiyoshi said if Salter played like this earlier in the season, do you think they would have a much better record? Yeah, I do. And again, it is part of the, and I will say this though, part of the problem with the transfer portal is this is a 1 year rental, right? And again, they're not renting him, anything like that, but it's a 1 year rental ideally when you have a 5th year senior coming in, playing quarterback. You don't know what he does well until you get in those game situations, right? Brand new to see you. But yes, I do think if he would have played like this, the play call, and guess what I'm saying is the play calling would have been there. And this is the offense they've been running all season. Who knows? We gave away 3 games. The Buffs gave away 3 games this year. And you look at that changes your whole season, right? They should have 1 loss in Big 12 play, and I get it. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, those kind of things. But yeah, this team is extremely talented. That loss last week against TCU, the week before BYU, and then the opener against Georgia Tech. Those things shouldn't have happened, but hopefully they find their footing, they find their groove, and they're ready to roll the rest of the season. And again, hopefully they run the table, but we'll see. That's getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah, that third and 17 sealed the game. Fantastic throw, fantastic route, fantastic read, fantastic call. Right, great call there. Kudos, and we got to tip our hat when we got to tip it. Great call by Pat Shermer there. And again, it is what it is, right? Yep, Darren Jennings says the team leaves so much meat on the bone the last 3 years, man. Yeah, and again, I can't complain a lot about a win. A win is a win, but that should have been a double-digit win minimum. And I would say by double digits, I don't mean 10, I mean 14. So that's what it should have been. A minimum of 2 touchdown win. So again, but hopefully this team starts to find their footing, starts to get more comfortable, starts to find their identity. And again, it kind of starting to feel like this team is finding their identity these last couple weeks. So Neo says, I used to like the portal and NIL, but I think evens out the feel like teams that should win don't win now. It changed my mind. Yeah, it does, but I think part of it is the Buffs this year didn't, they've been landing the number 1 transfer portal classes these last couple years before, 2 out of the last 3 years, and this year they didn't. Which is Texas Tech and Ole Miss, and you watch Texas Tech play, and they are, holy shit, Texas Tech is, man, I haven't even checked the score on that game yet. I know they're playing Kansas there in Lubbock, but Texas Tech is a whole different beast right now, man. They look good. So I just think kind of, Prime's absence this offseason, as well as, losing Shador and Travis and the rest of those guys, the leadership, it was just put on delay a little bit, if that makes sense, because Prime wasn't there, Shador's not there, Travis not there, LeJonte's not there, Jimmy's not there, right? All those dudes, BJ Green's not there, Nikhil Green's not there, Levante Bentley's not there, the Shark's not there. So you kind of starting to see, yeah, it makes a little bit of sense why they're behind the chains a little bit here. So, but all in all, a great win. And then last key to the game that I had was need to get pressure, and coverage has to be good. Coverage was okay. Pressure was okay. I feel like they should have got a lot more, but that'll come in time. Those young guys, Artem Walker's out today, missing a handful of defensive linemen, but I think it was a great performance. They played some complimentary football today. Not a lot to complain about. Miscles G, head down and get back to work 1 week at a time. Yep, let's go. Just beat top 25 team. Yeah. And again, they beat a good top 25 team. This isn't like Iowa State's a good football team. They figured it out. They'll figure it out as well. They're, missing some players, missing some field goal kicking, but they'll figure some things out. Iowa State's a good football team, and they're well coached. So I know this is hard. This is so hard every single week. I want to do this. Darren, the offensive line pass protection. If Shador had this line, man, if Shador had this line with those weapons last year, shit, even if you put Shador on this team, it'd be a whole different, gosh, it would be a whole different situation, man. He would eat defenses alive. Like, it would be unreal. It'd be unreal. He would throw for 400 yards per game. I should say 400 yards per game. He would break NCAA records, right? It would be unreal. So yeah, I know it's hard to not think that, but this offensive line, man, they're monsters. They are monsters. If Caden can sling the ball like that, the Buffs are set up. They're set up pretty well moving forward. So I think almost on all of the keys to the game. First one was Buffs should have no problem running the ball. They ran the ball well, right? As a team, I believe. What did I see? They had. Let me look this up real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. Recap. What was the total team rushing? Oh, I can't find the box score. Give me a second, guys. I had it pulled up. Sorry. Total yards, rushing yards, Buffs had 140, passing yards 255, total yards 395. So again, and forcing a turnover where you get 3 points off of again, that wins you ball game. So no sacks on either side. The Buffs did well today. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And then another one, Killer Instinct. So I just want to look at what Rocco Beck did today. He had 205 yards, which is below his average. So the Buffs did what they needed to do today. So, not a lot of complaints on my end, but and then the third one was Killer Instinct, again, which they need to work on. But that 3rd and 17, hopefully that gives Prime a little bit more confidence to go for those 4th and 2s, air that thing out, and trust the players, man. You got some ballers, you got some studs on this team. So, yeah, it was fantastic. At running back, Cam Michael or Draylon Miller going forward at running back, or what do you mean? Because the thing about Cam Michael though is if you give him a little bit and he gets through and gets that second level, that dude is so fast. Like it is. I mean, man, I've been wondering these last couple years why Cam Michael has not been on the field more. That dude can flat out fly. I was sitting next to somebody at the stadium and he's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "That's Cam Michael. That dude can fly." And he's like, "Well, what?" I was like, "He played running back in high school. He plays wide receiver on the team, but the dude needs more touches because he can flat out fly." Running back, I would say Draylon Miller. You got it. Cam Michael at some points looked a little uncomfortable. And he was kind of running upright. I don't know if you guys caught that. And he got lit up a couple times where it was like, shit, man. Like, yeah, dude, you can't run so upright. So he's not meant for, I don't think he's meant for that. But again, he did a nice role filling in there. And, honestly, though, give Dallin Hayden the majority of the carries. That dude runs so damn hard and it's going to wear a defense out. I just, feel very strong about that. So I would go with Dre moving forward, if you're going to go running back, but Dallin Hayden needs to get about 20 carries a game. So just in my opinion, he runs hard. But anyway, Buffs met almost all 3 of those to an extent. Really happy with what this team did today. Wins a win, and they go into the bye week feeling good about themselves. Us as fans feeling good about ourselves, and hopefully the Big 12 just continues beating up on each other because the Buffs are going to need some help. And again, getting ahead of my, and I said I wouldn't do this, but you run the table, and let's get going. Run the table. Yeah, Hayden is back. Yes, for sure, Demistocles. He looks good. I'm happy with the way he's playing. Oh, who runs harder, Price or Hayden? Man, that's tough. I would say Hayden does, though. He's more punishing. The way he runs is just, he's going to punish you. Like you tackle him, or you go too high, or it requires, 2-3 people to get him down. He punishes the defense. So I believe he needs to get 20 some carries a game. You get him that ball, especially in that 4th quarter, and wear down a defense. Man, you don't want to tackle somebody that's running like that in the 4th quarter, especially here at altitude. You started seeing Iowa State, and again, it was not hot today, right? That's typically when you see these, typically when you start to see cramps set in is the altitude today. It was cold, it was, what is it? It's 72 now, cleared up and everything, but you're looking about 60, 65 degrees, rain coming down. It was more the altitude, but you playing the altitude like that, and that's a guy you don't want to tackle at the end of the game with Dallin Hayden. And an arm tackle is not going to bring him down. So, I roll with Hayden. I think he runs harder, and he's their bell cow, and he needs to get 20 carries a game moving forward. So, with that being said, though, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all. We'll be here on Monday. I'll be back Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Catch us. We'll review the game again. We go drive by drive at that point, and just happy to be here. Happy to be here, obviously, but happy to get that dub tonight. Huge win for the Buffs. So appreciate you guys. Like I always say, without you guys, there is no show. Appreciate every single one of you guys, and man, what a big win for the Buffs, and couldn't be happier for this team tonight. So, as always, go Buffs, and like our guy, Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter used to say, "Go Buffs, baby!" All right, guys, have a good rest of your weekend. We'll catch you on Monday. Go Buffs, baby.